Welcome everybody, thank you for joining me. This class is all about my favourite poses to nourish and restore. So we're actually going to start lying on our backs, not sitting up. So if you make your way onto your back, you can use a blanket for under your head if that's a benefit to you. Take your feet nice and wide apart out towards the outside edges of your mat and let your knees drop together. Let your arms rest beside you and settle the weight of your bones into the earth, relaxing through the shoulders, the tips of the shoulders, as well as the shoulder blades on the back of the body. Readjusting if you need to, if you feel like something's a bit jammed. Soften through your belly, hips sinking down, buttocks resting against the earth. Take a few conscious breaths, feeling the whole of the front of the torso changing its shape as you breathe in and then as you breathe out. And then move your attention from the front of the torso to the sides of the waist and the back of the body. Where can you feel the breath around the whole container of your torso? Can you feel the movement in the lower back as you breathe in and out? Can you feel the movement in the back and the side ribs? Can you feel into all those changes with the movement of the breath, opening, expanding on your in-breath, contracting, releasing on the out-breath. Maintain your focus on your breathing and bring your arms into cactus shape. So the elbows got a 90-degree bend, the backs of the arms, the backs of the hands resting on the floor. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, bring the forearms together in front of your face. And then cross one elbow over the other, crossing as high up the upper arm as you can. Lifting the elbows away from the floor and bringing the fingertips towards, the elbows away from the chest and bringing the fingertips towards the floor behind you. On your exhale, let the elbows drop a little towards the chest, and on your inhalation, lift again. Feeling this, the stimulation into the upper back, allowing the arms to move gently with the breath. We're not trying to make this a really huge movement, but imagine that we're breathing our arms. Inhale to lift a little overhead, fingertips towards the floor. Exhale to bring the elbows back into that neutral position. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, a little lift in the elbows. Exhale, releasing the elbows in the direction of the chest. Then we're going to change sides. So just double check which arm is on top. You want to do the opposite. Open your arms out to the side first and bring the backs of the hands to the floor in cactus arms. Take a full breath in and out. And then exhale, bring the forearms together and then cross the opposite elbow over top. Tie up the upper arms as you can, twining your forearms and bringing the palms together. You can leave the inner forearms together if you prefer. And then we're going to move again with our breath. Inhale, the fingers towards the earth above the head. Exhale, return to that first position where you brought your arms into the shape. Keep moving with the breath. On the inhale, lift. And on the exhale, release. When I say release, I mean bring them back into that starting position. So there's a little bit of movement in the shoulders, a little bit of sensation as the upper back. One more time. And then exhale, bring your arms back into cactus position next to you. Take a breath or two here. And then walk your feet towards one another so that the ankles and the knees and the hips are all in one line. Bring your arms down beside you. And as you inhale, push into your feet to lift your hips and take your arms overhead. As you exhale, release the arms down beside you. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. A couple more times working through this dynamic low bridge pose. Feeling into the spine. Noticing which muscles are firing the most. And can you bring all the muscles of the body to a place where they're working? When I say all the muscles, I mean the glutes and the quads, the calves, pushing the feet into the earth. As you next lower, release the arms beside you, let the knees knock together. And take a couple more breaths here. Sensing into your heartbeat. As you next exhale, stretch the right leg out away from you and bring the left knee in towards your chest. Take a breath in, and on an exhalation, bring that left knee across the body, all the way to the floor. We'll use some support if you need it. Let your right hand rest on either the thigh or the outside of the knee. We're not really holding much with that hand, we're just resting the weight of it down. Gives the leg a little bit of a chance to relax so that the arm is keeping, or the hand is keeping the leg in place. Tuck the toes of your bottom foot under and walk that foot a little bit back behind you. Make sure that you're okay in the lower back when you do that. It does increase the sensation in this area. So if it doesn't feel good, let the leg slide back to where it was. If you'd like to, you can bend that bottom leg and take hold of the right foot with the left hand, letting the foot and hand sink towards the floor. Relax your belly. When we're twisting, when the belly is soft, we can go a little deeper. When we tighten our belly, it prevents the twist from happening quite to the depth. But remember, in saying that, we only want to come towards our edge, not past it. Deep, slow breaths into the belly. With each breath out, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms, the legs, letting your body sink into the shape. Cat pulling its tail is one of the most complicated supine twists. Not just to get into, but also because of the effects on our body. It's influencing so many different parts of our physical and energetic body. So you want to be comfortable here. You don't want to take yourself too far. There's enough going on without trying to force the issue. Find your shape and sink in. Feeling the movement that comes from the breath and letting everything outside of that movement become still. Whenever you notice yourself losing your connection to your breath, losing your connection to your body, you'll focus back to the present. Your breath and your body always reside. From this shape, we're going to transition onto our bellies, working into opening through the shoulders. So if you're holding your bottom foot, release it, stretch your right leg along the floor, and then bring your left arm over so the hand can push into the earth. Release your right arm from your knee and slide that left leg down. Keep the right arm where it is, crossed in front of your body, and then cross the left arm over top of it so that you're ending up with both arms crossed. You can be palm face up or palm face down, depending on what works best for you. You can rest your chin on your upper arms, or you can keep some lift into your head so that you're not putting too much weight onto the arms. If this is really too strong for you, you can always release the front arm and use that as a bit of a prop. Maybe the forehead can rest onto the stacked fist. You can also use a bolster or a rolled blanket sideways along the upper chest. And this will give you a little bit of height and support the torso, so there's not so much weight on the upper arm. But if it's all good where you are, stay and breathe. If it's not, adjust, and then once more become still. To come into or out of this crossed arm position and into cat pulling its tail on the other side. Unwind the bottom arm, which is your right arm. Rest the hand on the floor. Slide your right knee up beside you, and then open the right arm back behind you. So you're coming into a single-legged supine twist. You can let your left hand rest on the outside of the right knee, and you can stay here. If you don't want to come into the full cat pulling its tail, remain where you are. Otherwise, walk your bottom leg back behind you and then bend the knee, taking hold of the foot with your top arm, your right arm. So we're now in cat pulling its tail on the other side. The right knee is bent up in front of us. The left leg is below us, either straight or the knee bent and holding the foot. Find a neutral position for your head. And let your whole body surrender into the earth. It helps to maintain your focus. You can choose a point in your body that has some sensation. And let the mind rest here. Send the breath to this point. Send the attention to this point. And watch how it changes. Noticing how nothing stays the same. Scan through your body. Trying to find those places you might still be holding some tension. Let's give the toes a little wriggle. Yin yoga is an opportunity to let go. Both physically, letting go within the pose, but also letting go of emotions, thoughts that no longer serve us. From the supine twist, we're going to move into that strong shoulder opening. So if you've got hold of your bottom foot, release it, stretch that leg along the floor. Bring your right arm across the body to rest your hand on the earth. Release the hold on your knee and slide your right leg to meet your left, keeping the left arm crossed in front of the chest. And then take the right arm and cross it over top of the left. So we're now in the broken wing pose where both arms are extended, or if it's too strong, there's many different options. You can put some height under your chest for support. You can slide the right elbow back and support your forehead on your stacked fist. You can take some holding into your neck so the weight of your head isn't pushing down. You can choose palms face up or palms face down. Try both and notice what gives you the better orientation for your shoulders. It's this outer shoulder compartment that we're working into. So that's the space that you want to feel the sensation, but not too much. Remind yourself that if you need to come out of a pose early, absolutely, you have all the power. Take yourself out early, come into a rebound and use that as a long rebound to allow the body to reset. As you next inhale, start to unwind your arms, bringing the arms down beside you, turning the head to one side, trying to turn it in such a way as that you're getting even stretch around your neck. Relax the arms. This is just a brief rebound before we go into another pose that's also could be considered a rebound. When you're ready to, bring your hands to either side. Lift the hips up and sink the buttocks back towards the heels, bringing your forehead either down to the floor, or you can support the forehead on your hands. If you're not needing to support your forehead, you can let your arms rest beside you. Make sure that the knees are a comfortable distance apart so that your chest is supported and that you don't feel like your torso is hanging in the air. Treat this as a rebound as well as a pose. So we're still letting our tissues recoil from the twist and the outer compartment of the shoulder opening. But we're also bringing some fresh blood flow into our belly. So the more deeply you breathe, the more you compress your organs so that when you breathe out, their shape is changed. And it encourages health into the digestive system. If you'd like to, you can stay here for a little longer. But if you're ready for the next variation in this pose, bring your arms and extend them along the floor above the head and turn your palms to face up if you comfortably can. If that doesn't work for you, then leave the palms down. But if you can face the palms up, this is a gesture of invitation, inviting the gifts of the universe in. You can support the head with a blanket or a block or a book. You can rest your forehead on the floor. Or on your next inhale, lift your head. And as you exhale, return the palms to face the floor if they were up, and then start to slide your hands towards the left-hand side of your mat. Not taking them too far off the mat, just enough that we get a slight curve, a lateral flexion of the spine and an opening into the side body. When you've found your shape, let the forearms rest down onto the floor. There's no need to push any deeper. Let the breath do the work for you. Breathing into both lungs, but predominantly feeling that right lung expanding, intercostal muscles opening, a side body stretch with each breath in. And as you next inhale, lift your head. Bring your arms back to center. And before we go into the other side, let your arms rest down beside you. It's a long time with your arms extended forward. You want to give the shoulders a little break, give the upper arms a rest. You can stay here for as long as you need to. When you're ready to come into the other side stretch, reach your arms back along the floor above the head and begin to walk the hands now to the right-hand side of your mat. Opening through the left waist, filling both lungs, but with the extra focus on the left lung. Let the forearms rest down. Let your head sink to the floor or with the support. And breathe into that left body. As you inhale, lift your head, bring your arms back to center, and then come up onto the hands and knees, placing your hands under your shoulders, the knees under your hips. And we're going to move into a couple of cat and cows here, energizing along the spine, through the shoulders, through the hips. You can circle the torso, or you can stay with ordinary cat and cow. It's a little bit of a freestyle, dynamic rebound, moving in whatever way feels good for you. And then coming to stillness, slide your right knee forward between the center of your hands and let the right foot come a little to the left. And then bring the left knee up behind that right knee, taking your feet as far apart as you can, and then sitting back between the feet. If you need to have some height, use a blanket or a block, bolster, a book, whatever works for you underneath your buttocks so that both buttocks are resting on something. Once you've found your shape, and you can choose, you don't have to be here with shoelace. You can be in a cross-legged position. You could be in half shoelace with the bottom leg extended and only the top leg crossed. That takes a lot of pressure off the hips. So you choose which pose you prefer to be in. And then we're going to inhale, raise the arms up. And as you exhale, twist a little to the right. A couple more times, inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. So we're twisting to the same side each time in the direction of the top leg. Last time, inhale, raise the arms up. And then twist a little to the right. We're not going too deep. You can use some support behind your back hand to help you lift away from the earth rather than slumping back towards it. You can have the back of your forearm against the knee, the inside of the forearm. You can use your hand here, whatever works best for your body. And then let the belly relax and take some deep, slow breaths. We're not trying to go into our deepest twist. We're not trying to strain in the shape. Simply change the orientation of our torso and our belly, keeping the openness in the front of the shoulders. Deep, slow breaths. If you feel yourself gripping, tightening any area, see if you're able to let go. It could be that you're not in the right pose for you. It might be that shoelace isn't the better option. Make sure that the lower body is comfortable enough that you can let go around the glutes and around the hips. As you next inhale, gently bring yourself forward. You're going to either stay upright here, or if your body is able to, you can come into a forward fold. Keep the belly relaxed as you feel your body clenching and tightening. See if you're able to let go, particularly around the region at the back, the gluteal muscles, the rotators. Sink in and breathe. Taking a deep breath in. Prepare yourself for movement, and as you exhale, gently bring yourself back upright. If you're in full shoelace, it's really easy to get into the other side by lifting up and turning 360 degrees. If you're not in full shoelace, stretch your legs out, give yourself a little break, and then come into the other side. So for those of us in full shoelace, come forward onto your hands, tuck your toes under, lift the knees, and walk the hands 360 degrees around, swiveling on the feet, but keeping the feet in the same place. And then sit back down. Now your left leg will be on top. And if you happen to fall over or you move your feet and stuff it up, have a little giggle at yourself and then just come back into the pose. On an inhalation, reach the arms up. On an exhalation, twist to the left. Inhale, lifting the arms. Exhale, twist to the left. One last time, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. We're not trying to come into our deepest twist, but just like on the other side, find a little bit of opening, a little bit of rotating, but not too much. Let the head be neutral, or turn the head to look over your left shoulder. Relax the belly, consciously bring space into this area of the abdomen. Let it all hang out so that as you breathe, you've got more room for the breath. And your next inhalation, bring yourself back to the front. You can stay here in an upright position. You can stay in the twist if you want to stay in the twist. Or if you'd like to come into that forward fold, take a breath in, broaden across the collarbones, and gently ease yourself forward. Not pushing forward, but letting gravity do the work for you, finding that place where the body can rest without discomfort, and breathe. And this pose can also be done lying on your back. You're going to lie on your back and come into shoelace pose, holding around the outside of the knees or holding the opposite ankle with each hand. That's another option, so you don't have the weight of your body forcing too much pressure into the hips. Check in if you've started to grip through the buttocks and the hips. Release what you can. As you next inhale, begin to lift the head and the chest, bringing yourself back upright, taking your hands back behind you, unwinding the legs, stretching them out, lifting through the front of the chest, looking up towards the ceiling, giving the ankles a little circle. If you'd like to, you can lift the hips up, pushing into the soles of the feet or the heels. Or you can stay down with the chest lifted, leaving the front of the body open. And moving in whatever way feels good for you. And when you're ready to, sitting yourself back upright and taking the legs apart into that wide leg position. Taking a breath in here, lifting through the chest. And as you exhale, bring yourself a little bit forward. Readjust. Do you check in? Do you need height under your seat? What does it require to be comfortable here? So we're not going so far forward that we're at our maximum or even close to it. Just letting the hands be on the floor, the torso a little bit forward. And then move the hands a little bit again away from the body. Give the toes a little wriggle. Relax the legs. You might notice the legs tend to roll outward here. Let them move in whatever direction works best for them. Try and tilt from the pelvic bone rather than rounding the back. And then as you feel able to, maybe you can come a little lower. Perhaps the elbows come to the floor, or you take a blanket to rest the elbows on, or a bolster. Let the shoulders relax. Soften the front of your body. Let the spine gently round. Making sure that the movement is starting in the hips, starting in the pelvic bone with a forward tilt of your pelvic bone, rather than the movement starting in the waist. Relax the shoulders. Check in with your edge. Are you still sitting just before your edge? Have you moved past it, or has your edge moved further away? Is the body inviting you to drop a little deeper? It's not always the case, but often in forward folds, when we've been there a wee while, the body softens and there's room to move. In this forward fold, we're going to come back upright slightly, move well away from our edge, and then begin a little bit of movement with the torso, swaying from side to side. Let the legs become a little heavier on the earth to ground you and to give you an anchor that you can lift out from as you move from side to side. And then when you're ready to, you can start to change the arm position so that you're floating with one arm coming up into a revolved side angle, side stretch. A couple more times to each side. And then when you're ready to sink into some stillness, it doesn't matter which side you choose, pause there. Again, relax the belly. Maybe the ear comes towards the arm. The upper arm can be curved around, or you can rest the upper arm behind your back. The energetic movement here is the bottom waist coming through towards the front of the body. The top waist opening towards the ceiling. The belly button revolving to smile upward. And when you've had enough of this side, start those slow movements again, going from one side to the other, maybe starting just with that seaweed action with the hands on the floor swaying. And as you feel ready to, starting to revolve the torso a little bit more and getting the lift and revolution through the upper body. You've done that a few times, or whenever you've had enough, you can then settle into stillness on the opposite side to what you were last time. Bottom waist coming through towards the belly. Side body at the top opening towards the ceiling. The belly button opening upward to smile at the room. Maybe your bottom ear drops towards the shoulder or the upper arm. It could be supported, it might not. It'll all depend on your shape, your anatomy, your muscles. And the next exhalation, gently roll yourself down into that central position. And then from here, lift yourself back upright, bending up your knees and taking the legs into either a cross-legged position or straight out in front of you. Moving the legs or being still. Finding a rebound that serves you today. Wherever you are, bring your knees towards your chest and open the knees out to either side. Move the flesh of your buttocks out of the way. Use a blanket or some other support underneath you if you need to. Inhale, lift the chest up and exhale round the back, rolling onto the back of the buttocks. Inhale, lift, rolling onto the front of the sitting bones, and exhale, rolling onto the back of the sitting bones. A couple more times moving through this upright variation of cat and cow. Moving with the breath. And the next time you inhale and lift up, as you exhale, let yourself come forward over your legs. You can rest the elbows on the floor. You can rest the elbows on the inside of the ankles. Use a bolster or blanket for support. A really lovely way to support yourself in this pose so that the ankles don't sickle is to take a small blanket and fold it into a rectangle and then roll it up and tuck the ends of the blanket underneath the ankles, the main part of the blanket coming across the top of the feet. As you rest down, you'll notice how much more comfortable that is for the ankles and the lower legs. That can also bring support into the hip region. And as you next inhale, prepare yourself for movement. And on the exhalation, begin to lift yourself back upright, moving your blanket if you had that wrapped around your ankles. Take your hands behind your body and lift up your left knee, bringing it all the way across towards the right knee, so that you're now in a sort of a sideways fetal position. And then slide that left leg back so that your knee ends up tucked into the arch of your right foot. And from here, lift up and revolve to look along the mat away from you. So I took myself on such an angle that I'm now facing the short edge of my mat, but it will depend on where you're positioned. You're looking away in the direction where your right hip is heading. Let yourself fold down here, coming onto your elbows and checking in. How does that feel for you? There's quite a lot going on through the belly region. We're also opening through the hips and the legs and the shoulders. Stay where you are. If you want to go a little deeper, slide the elbows out and maybe rest down onto the floor, or perhaps rest down on top of a bolster. How much can you let go through your torso? What might you still be holding on to, consciously or unconsciously? As you next inhale, slowly start to move, lifting yourself up onto your elbows and then your hands. Bring yourself back around to face the legs and release the legs into Baddha or butterfly pose again. Take a breath here and then we're going to go into the other side. So bring the right knee up, bringing it all the way over to rest on the left knee. And then slide that top leg away from you so that your right knee ends up cradled inside the left foot. Take a breath in here and revolve your torso to the left away from the legs. Bring another breath in. As you exhale, take your time coming down onto your elbows. It might feel a little intense on this side, but when we finish the last pose, we've been there for a wee while. Now we're just starting on this side, and the body hasn't had time to adjust. So give it that time, give it that space, and as you're ready to, you can go lower, but not until you are ready. You might need to stay on your elbows the whole time on this side. It will depend very much on your body. You can also let your knees move up and around a little bit more if it's too intense for you. As the body allows, you can let your elbows slide to either side, resting down onto the side of the head or onto the forehead. We're working to revolve our belly as though we're trying to get it to face the floor. It's unlikely to actually face the floor, but that's the direction we're energetically moving in. As you next inhale, begin to lift your head and your chest coming up onto your hands. And swinging your legs around and coming down to lie on your back. Stretching out the legs, stretching out the arms. In the next exhalation, raise the arms above your head. And then begin to curve your body to the right-hand side, keeping the buttocks down on the floor. Curving the legs to the right, curving the arms to the right. Lateral flexion of the spine. Stretching down along the IT band on the outer right thigh. As you inhale, bring your arms and legs back to center. You're going to head straight into the other side. Beginning to walk the legs and arms to the left-hand side this time. Opening down the right side of the body. I didn't mention crossing one ankle over the other. We're just not really going to be here long enough. But if you need to give you the stimulation required, cross the right ankle over the left. Always be where you are. It doesn't have to be an extreme variation. Allow the body to soften into this curved C shape. Weight of the buttocks sinking down. Stretch predominantly to the IT band, that thick band of fascia that runs along the outer thigh, stimulating our gallbladder channel, stimulating also our upper body channels. On your next inhalation, begin to bring yourself back to center, releasing the arms down beside you and maybe hugging the knees in towards your chest, perhaps rocking a little from side to side. When you're ready to open into Shavasana, stretch out your arms and legs. Use support or height under the knees if required. Take a blanket and place it over you to maintain your body heat. Let the whole body rest against the earth. Let the feet, the toes, the ankles, the heels, the soles of the feet release. Relax both legs. Release the hips, the buttocks, the belly, the chest, the spine. Relax the shoulders, the arms, the elbows, the wrists, the hands, palms, fingers. Let the throat and neck be soft, the head cradled at the top of the earth. Whole body releasing. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just breathe. Releasing your focus on your breathing. Begin to prepare your body for movement. Starting small, wriggling fingers and toes. And as you're ready to, stretch out your arms and your legs, waking up your body just like you would in the morning. Bringing the knees into your chest. You can either rock to your side first, or you can make your way directly up to sitting. Bringing your hands together in front of the heart space. In honour of your practice. Namaste.